All right, well, it is noon Central Time here in Chicago, everybody. The big day. I'm here with Amber McCulloch. Welcome to our Mondays for Creators webinar. And we're just so excited to have everybody here. And, we will be recording this as well. So obviously we're live, but we will be recording it as well for everybody to kind of check out later on, send to your friends, reference later. So Amber, I can't tell you enough how excited we are to have you here with us today. So thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really am loving forcreators.com, and I think it's an amazing resource for influencers. So I love being a part of your webinar series.
Well, good. Well, thank you. I mean, you are the first one, so this is a big deal. Big deal.
Kicking it off.
You are kicking it off. And so as you mentioned, forcreators.com, there's the website, there's the app. We have tons of resources on there, tons of articles for everyone to really take a look at, learn from, connect, grow, and then ultimately really monetize. So, that's where we really want to focus too, is just growing everybody in those positions. So hello there, Christy. Hi, welcome. So as you guys are here in the chat, let us know if you have any questions at all. And I will be trying to kind of pick them up as we're talking about stuff. So if it's relevant to the topic, we can answer that question as it comes up. And then if it's just kind of something random that's on your mind, we can talk about it, after we finish that topic. So guys, whatever you want to know. But as we did mention, so we've got like a spotlight for creators articles on our website. So that really digs deep into like who you are, Amber, what you're focusing on, how you've had the success that you've had. So be sure to go on there and check out all the spotlight for creators. So in these webinars, though, we really kind of want to take a deeper look at some of those issues that you may be facing as an influencer on Instagram, and kind of specifically look at those 3 different topics. So that's where we're going to be jumping in here. But again, guys, we're all part of a community. We're all happy to be here together. So if you have any questions at all, let us know. And I'm sure Amber would address those for you. So, all right. So you can check out Amber's profile. But Amber, why don't you just give us like a little background about yourself as well?
Of course. So my blog is called StylePlusCurves. So my niche and focus in the industry is plus size fashion. And I have actually been doing this for 12 years. So like
12 years, that's awesome.
The dark ages of blogging, and Instagram didn't even exist. Facebook, I think, was just coming out. So so the industry has changed so dramatically in the last decade, and really in the last, I'd say, 5 years. And so I have definitely paid my dues and learned a lot of lessons. But it's an actual career that people can sustain a lifestyle off of. And I just think that's remarkable. So I didn't know it was going to go this way.
For sure. No. And that's amazing. The foresight you had as well. And then also to kind of grow and change with those different platforms that came out. But so you did StylePlusCurves. Obviously, you're very stylish. You're also a plus size model who's just been super successful too. I see your background and all those beautiful shoes.
Right.
And so is this your closet?
This is okay. All right. So I live in a 2-bedroom condo with my fiance, because we recently got engaged. But yeah, this is a whole bedroom that I took over. I don't know.
So the whole bedroom's your closet.
Yeah, it's all like, it's everywhere. And then the shoes are just like right behind me. So yeah, it's a whole bedroom, but you kind of have to have space, because I get so much product sent to me, and you have to keep on top of it, like organization and cleaning out is a
Yes.
big deal. So,
girl, that is a dream to have an entire room as your closet. That is my dream.
I know. And I mentioned that we were house hunting. So I'm like, no, but we really need 4 bedrooms. So I could have at least 1 bedroom for a closet. But I don't know if that's going to fly. So
well, what a dream. I love it. And those shoes, like you said, organized, looks beautiful. So a gorgeous closet, also a gorgeous background. So you got that going for you. So, all right, awesome. So thank you so much for giving us that background as a blogger and an Instagram influencer. So what we really want to share with people on this today as well is 3 different topics. So as we kind of chatted, we kind of figured out 3 topics that Instagram influencers and yourself deal with. So that would be monetizing, time management, and staying true to yourself, right?
Yeah.
So those are 3 different things that, as we were talking about, they come up again and again. So we're going to be discussing that. And with that, guys, I was posting on the For Creators platform some questions to kind of give you an idea of where we're going to be sticking to with each of these topics as well. And then as these questions come up, I'll put them in the polls too. So that will be kind of fun. So keep a lookout for the polls as well. But so the first question was, how are you currently monetizing your Instagram feed? And then the second with time management, how much time are you spending on creating content for social media per day, and how to streamline that if you want to make it a little less time. And then the third, as far as staying true to yourself, if I looked at your social media feed, would I get an idea of who you really are? Right. So go ahead, Amber. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think the most important part of being an influencer in this day and age is you have to look at it as a business. And business, you can't, you can just have fun with being an influencer and it can be a hobby, but you might not get to the level that you want to get to unless you really treat it like a business, and business has to have income. So you have to be clear on what kind of money you want to make, how you want to make it. You need to set goals like it's a business, and then you have to track, follow up, you have to invoice, which it's like the word. I'm like so bad at keeping up with my invoicing, but you have to treat it like a business. So currently there are some major ways that influencers are making money now, and the first one is brand sponsorships. And that is when a brand, usually they'll approach you, but you can pitch them and say, usually they'll approach you and they say, oh, we have this campaign. We would love to have you be a part of it. They're usually not going to offer you compensation at that point, because it's all like a little back and forth kind of negotiation. So some brands will mention this is only for trade, or we'll give you product in hopes that you'll post about this. But so they'll mention that up front so you kind of know what you're getting into. But if they do have a campaign that is funded, then you can write back to them and say, oh, great, these are my rates. I would love to do an Instagram post, a story set, a blog post, for this amount of money. And then you negotiate that. And so brand sponsorships usually do have a contract that you have to sign with deliverables that are outlined. And then once you fulfill those, you have to submit links and your analytics and things like that. So those are usually how you're going to make the most money at the more bang for your buck. You're going to make a lot more money on those brand sponsorships. The other way that influencers make money is through affiliate links. So I know y'all have all seen this, and especially on Instagram, when you get 10,000 followers, you get the swipe up feature in your stories.
Oh,
and
yes.
that's honestly when you can start making money as an affiliate, because then you can link directly to a product that you're wearing in a photo, and then people can buy it, and then you will get a percentage of those sales. So those are probably the two main ways that that you can make money currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Christy here asked, how do brands find you?
Okay, so they can find you. They have sneaky ways. Like, they pay for services that analyze the back end of your Instagram. So Instagram like sells your information.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
And so these bigger brands will they like have subscriptions to these services where they can put queries into the database and find out, oh, okay, I want a micro influencer under 10,000 followers with a female audience, plus size focus. So they can like data mine and find you. But a much more common way, because that's like with the big brands who have a lot of money, you know, a more common way is they're just going to search hashtags on Instagram. So if they know that they want a plus size focus, then they'll maybe search plus size influencer. And so they have like their different lists, you know, and they'll find you for sure. They'll do Google searches. There's a lot of third-party platforms that you sign up for as an influencer, and then the brand goes through them. So like Reward Style is like, that's where you can do a lot of your affiliate links, but then brands can go to Reward Style and say, hey, who do you have that meet these criterias? And then they'll send you a message through these platforms, and then you can contract with them. So
there's actual platforms for you to go sign up and say, I am an influencer.
Yes. And then brands will pay the third party who then, well, because you're one of their assets. You're like, they'll send your information to the brand and say, do you want to work with this person? And if they do, then they'll contact you and set up like a contract.
Okay, that's very interesting. So Reward Style, and then what other platforms do you know off the top of hand?
So many. Oh my gosh. There's one, it's called Find Your Influence. So FYI was one. There's another one that was called Pop Pay, I think. So there's a lot. Like if you Google you can find them out and sign up for them. And there's new ones all the time.
Okay, so we have the brand sponsorships and then the affiliate links. And I know when we were chatting, you had mentioned specific brands that you wanted to work with, and you wrote a list, and then you reached out to them, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about that.
So that is what, like Christy was saying, I don't have a lot of followers. How to get more followers? Well, if you don't have a lot of followers and you don't think that these brands are going to find you through these avenues, the traditional way, then a really good way to approach it is to make a list. So first of all, if you're an influencer, I hope that you have determined a niche for yourself. So you carved out a little place for yourself on the internet and said, okay, this is what I want to talk about. This is who I am. And this is the story. This is my story. So within that niche, the most effective thing that I think I did really early on was I sat down and I said, okay, who are the big players in this industry, in this niche? And I made a list. And then I went to each of their websites, and you have to be like a little sleuth, you know, it's usually at the very bottom of the website. for like a PR media contact, you know, you can email them and say, hi, this is who I am, that I'm building my following. This is what I'm about. Please add me to your PR list. Or you can ask, who can I get in touch with for brand sponsorships? You know, so you really just, you have to do a little digging. And then you just put yourself out there. So I made a list of brands that I wanted to work with, and then just systematically contacted them. Now, you can also do this through Instagram. You can go to their Instagram. This is very effective. Go to their Instagram account, direct message them. Simple. Don't write like a huge message. Just say, hey, I would love to get in touch with your blogger relations or your PR team. Who should I contact? Okay. And then they'll usually send back like an email to contact, and then you can reach out that way.
Awesome. Okay. So we have some slides of those brand sponsorships that you had reached out to. So let's talk a little bit about them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no. Well, so I made a list since I'm in the plus size fashion space. There's some big players. So Lane Bryant, Eloquy, Forever 21 Plus. I mean, there's like, this is like To Know It, which is huge. I'll talk about that in a minute. But they're not like a brand. They're one of the third-party platforms I was talking about. But so for these, they reached out to me for the sponsored post. Go back to the Eloquy, the red dress, that one. Yeah, so they reached out to me and said, hey, we would love to send you some clothes. Nice. So pick something out, which is great. Pick something out and you know, post about it if you want. And I was like, okay, I'll take this pretty dress, you know? And so then it's all kind of on you. Like, you get it, you style it, you take a picture, and then you post it, and you have to tag the brand, because at this point, again, with Christy's question, one of the best ways to grow your followers is to get reposted by the big players in your niche. So if you're a food blogger and you take a beautiful picture of a meal kit like HelloFresh, you know, and you have like a beautiful picture of a HelloFresh meal, then you're hoping that HelloFresh will actually post that picture on their feed, and then you will get an influx of followers, hopefully. So for Eloquy to repost my picture, that was big. And I got hundreds of new followers just from this post. And the same thing with Like to Know It and Lane Bryant and Forever 21. So if you're looking to grow your followers and you're not like, oh, this is Loft. I love working with Loft. They're great too. But if you're looking to grow your followers, then brand reposts are like the most effective way of doing that, for sure.
Great. And Christy, we will address your question too. Do you now have to put brand partnership or a disclosure that you're sponsored by that?
Yes. So there's FTC guidelines around everything, because they really want to make it clear when something is sponsored or an ad. So you do have to, so these are the reposts. So they don't have to say that it was sponsored.
They don't. Mm-hmm.
But with my post on my feed, when I posted that Eloquy, you know, they didn't pay me to post. They gave me the product. So instead of saying paid or sponsored, I would say gifted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Or in the caption, I would say Eloquy sent me this, or I'm partnering with Eloquy to show you some fabulous Valentine's dresses, you know, so you have to acknowledge the relationship, but you don't, there's a lot of weirdness around the paid sponsorship tool thing. And as long as you have the FTC disclosure in your caption with hashtag ad or sponsored, then you should be in the clear.
You should be good. Okay, great. Now, you had mentioned that there was a little bit more about like to know it. Did you want to talk about that?
So like to know it is reward style. So reward style is like the big is a big platform. There's two big players in this space. It's shop style and reward style. And this is where the majority, I would say, of fashion influencers, I'm not sure about like food bloggers or exercise, other industries, but this is where fashion influencers go to create their affiliate links. And it's where you get paid, So like to know it is, they have, I think they're over 1 million followers now or something. I mean, it's crazy. They have so many followers. And like to know it is the linking functionality for Instagram. So that's how it like associates an image with a link. And I don't know, it's like magic. If somebody takes a screenshot of this picture and they're signed up with like to know it, they will get an email with links to all of the things that I have linked in this photo. Like through a screenshot. I'm like, are y'all looking at my pictures? Like, how is this possible? I don't know, but it works.
It's all working out together. That's crazy. No, I have been familiar with like to know it, but yes, as far as how it all connects, all of that really is crazy. Now, as far as monetizing in general, how important are those followers? I mean, like you kind of said, as far as when you're growing, what's the correlation there between followers and monetizing?
It is hugely important. So it's gone through a transition. So at first it was like nobody even cared about anything. And you were lucky if you got paid or approached by a brand. Like people didn't know influencing wasn't a career, or an industry. But then they, as it developed, you started making money at it. And the only way they really had to tell who had influence or not was with the likes. Or not the likes, I'm sorry, the followers. So then it was like, do everything you can to get more and more followers and grow as fast as you can. And it doesn't matter who it is, who's following you, And now the pendulum has swung back a little the other way. So it's very important. Brands, it's not just your overall following number that's important. It's the makeup of your followers and the quality of them. So related to your niche. So if you are a men's wellness blogger, men's health or wellness, and a brand will ask to see your analytics, like they want to know who's following you. Well, if you're for men's health and you have 90% women following you, then the brand is like, well, I don't know. Like that's really only 10% of your followers are even, would potentially buy our product. And I mean, it might be a little squishy there because women often buy products from men. So I picked a bad example, but as far as fashion, you see a lot of fashion influencers who have 100,000 followers. But when you look in their analytics, it's like, okay, well, they're a female fashion blogger, but 86% of their followers are men who are not there to shop. So if you're looking to build your followers, do not fall into the trap of buying them because your analytics will be completely skewed forever and ever and ever. Do not do that. Like, it's really bad.
Yeah.
But a lot of people did it, and a lot of people did it early on, and then they got big brand deals because the tools weren't as sophisticated as they are now.
Mm-hmm.
So be cognizant of who is actually following you.
Yes.
And then brands are now really into your engagement level. So not just like who is following you, but like, do you have a real relationship with these people? Are you having real conversations? And do they trust your word? You know? And those are the influencers that they are looking to work with. Because one person who says to 20 people that trust them, oh, you should buy this Tupperware, it's the best. 19 of them out of 20 might buy. But then if I have 2,000 followers and I don't really kind of know, or I've never really engaged with them, and I'm like, oh, this is the best Tupperware, then like 2 might buy.
Yeah.
You know, so with micro influencers, they do have power if from the very beginning you have built a trust relationship with your followers, and these people have chosen to engage with you and like talk with you, you know, and like get to know you.
Right. Okay. So Christy then asked, are you judged on the amount of likes and comments? If there are more comments, does that make a big difference? Maybe would that show that you're engaging more with your followers and your community?
Yeah, I do think so at first it was everything was your likes, how many likes you got. And then there were so many things to game the system, you know, like to, I mean, there's things where you can buy likes now, you know, and like for really cheap. And you can always tell the ones who do that, you know, but, you know, then so because it got to be where you could kind of cheat, then brands started valuing comments more. And like, but still there's a difference between a throwaway comment, like a emoji smiley face, and an actual conversation where people are asking like, oh, how low does that sweater go? Does it hit at your hip?
Oh, okay.
Because that's a real person asking this question. And then if you're engaging back with them and saying, yeah, it's more cropped, so if you don't want your belly to show, then don't get this, you know, so they're looking into those posts to make sure that it's not just like cheap throwaway comments, because that people started cheating that way as well. But it also makes a difference on how many people see your posts, because Instagram, the way that Instagram has their algorithm, they show, like, it depends on how many of your followers like or comment and save your post in like the first 10 minutes and in the first hour. And based on how much engagement you get in that small period of time, depends on, it influences how many people they show your post to on Instagram.
Okay. Yes.
So if you post at like a time where nobody is expected, like, it's good to post at the same time every day. Because then your followers will kind of know when to look for your content, and then they'll engage with it. Okay.
Do you have like a certain time you suggest?
I'm so bad at this, and I kind of messed it up. What worked well for me for a long time was a 6 p.m. posting time.
Oh, okay.
Because for my followers, they were home from work, you know, back when we went out of our house for work. which is so weird. But like, so you have to think about your followers and in your niche. Who are these people who are following you? Are they moms? Because maybe moms are getting up at like 6 a.m. to get their kids ready. And then, you know, the kids are getting ready and they're on their phone.
Yeah.
And this is when they might have time to engage. Or after they put their kids down, then they would get on and scroll Instagram. So think about your followers and their lifestyle, and then try to mesh your posting times and stuff like that with them.
No, that's for sure. Great advice. Okay. So Christy asked 2 questions here. What's the best way to post to get the most bang for your time invested? Post, news feeds, reel, Insta, or TV? That's a good question. Or do you have to do all of these to be influential? And then after that, we can talk a little bit. She had mentioned about like a community with Insta friends and groups. And I said, well, I know she does collaboration. So go ahead and comment on those.
Okay. So first, I think the first question you asked is really about pods or like comment pods. These are actually very helpful because this is my opinion. There's a lot out. This is controversial. So there's a lot of scare tactics that people put out around like, oh my gosh, if you're in a comment pod, Instagram like hates you and they won't ever show your, you know, whatever. No. If you're in one of these like crazy comment pods where you have 2,000 followers and you're getting 400 comments per post, something's wrong there. There is either a bot or you're in some crazy pod. But Instagram direct messages are set up to only have 15 people in a group chat.
Okay.
And so for me and my influencer friends, like I had like one of the first Instagram accounts, like, and I've always had the same name, you know, and it, why was I saying that? Let's see. So Instagram, old account, I forgot. I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, the comment pods. Yes. Okay. So throughout those 10 years I've been on Instagram, I think I've followed like 4,000 people now, or 3,000 people. I can't, like, my feed is full of people I don't know, you know, or that I don't really, you know, engage with. So it's very helpful to have a group chat with people that you actually care about, you know, and say, oh, hey, yeah, I just posted if you want to check it out. And then it just kind of lets people know to go, and they can leave a comment or not, or like it. So I find them very helpful just because sometimes the algorithm doesn't show me the people that I really want to see.
Oh, that makes sense. So Christy had asked, how do you find a comment pod? So is it really just a community of people that you have genuine interest in each other, or, you know, want to help each other grow? So it's going to be like 15 of you in a direct comment message.
That is the easiest way that I have found. There are so many, like some people do it on like Facebook, because they think they're hiding from Instagram, but you know, Facebook owns Instagram, you know, and that's not really how it works. The most effective way to leverage Instagram pods or comment pods is to talk to a few of your friends who are in the same niche as you are, and say, hey, do you want to create a chat where we can post and let y'all know that we posted so that you can comment? And so it has to be people that you have something in common with, in the same niche, and people that you genuinely want to leave a comment on their post. So
sure. So that makes sense. And then you always kind of alert each other like, hey, I just posted this. And then you all know to go kind of comment on it. And that will also keep it in the algorithm too.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And what's the best way to get the most time invested? So Instagram is trying to become, I mean, it has already become like the giant in the industry, and it doesn't ever want you to leave. So it doesn't want you going to YouTube to watch a long form video. It doesn't want you to go to TikTok because that is taking you away from the app. It doesn't want you to follow. That's why they don't allow links in your captions. They only give you that bio link.
Oh,
So because they want you to stay in the platform. So that's why they created IGTV for longer form to replace like YouTube. The Reels was like a direct copy of,
right.
not a direct copy, but is very similar to TikTok. Even Insta Stories took over Snapchat. Right?
Yeah.
So all the filters, all of that, Snapchat did that first. So my advice is you can't do it all. You will go crazy. And it's not worth your a brand. There's like no amount of money a brand can pay you to hit all of those avenues. So you have to pick the one that is best suited for you, your personality, and the equipment that you have available. So if you literally hate speaking on camera and don't like, like you kind of fumble your words and you just feel very uncomfortable, then IGTV is probably not going to be for you.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't waste your time doubling down on that. But if you can like just do a little dance to music and hop on a trend, then maybe Reels is where you need to be investing your time. For me personally, I am a model, so I love pictures. I love taking pictures, and I post to my feed. That is my main avenue. And then the stories are for I'm looking busted in my stories a lot.
Oh, you are. No.
Where it is like, oh girl, you have not showered. But you know what? Neither has anybody else. So that is really what makes you relatable and makes you real. And because social media is social. So it's about like people want to feel connected and like you're a friend who has things in common with them. Okay, so if your house is a total mess, which, I'm usuly very messy. I did clean this entire room.
Looks impeccable, so you would never have known.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so you kind of have to own your crazy or own your even your faults, like who are you, and like if you're super messy, then maybe one of the things that people are going to relate to you on is your constant struggle to keep your house clean, which is like a universal.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, this person's not just a picture in a feed. They're thinking about the same things I'm thinking about. Sure. So don't be afraid to show those sides of yourself.
Yeah, it used to be that Instagram was super curated and only the beautiful part, you like the perfect outfit from the perfect angle with the perfect drop and the perfect filter. Now people don't want that as much anymore. I mean, if that's really what brings you joy and you love that, then yes, you need to be posting these beautiful, like aspirational images. For me, the journey I went through was that I was working with professional photographers, and it just took a lot of time to check their availability and, and then the weather is so different every day. And like like to me, I used to want like the perfect backdrop. I wanted it to be interesting and like cool. And I didn't want it to be the same every day, you know?
Yeah.
And it was hard. It was hard to get a photographer who like on your own schedule, and then, you know, and then they charge a lot, you know, and so it was tough. And I didn't hit my stride until I was like, I just have to do this myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going, like, I have a big, huge camera. I have like a Canon, you know, whatever, with a big lens. I'm not carrying that around. I don't have time for that. Like, what I do have is my phone. And
yes,
I'm going to take pictures on my phone. And so that is honestly when the time management part of my struggles, like that's was the key for me, is just to say, yeah, like this is what I have. I have an iPhone and I have a cheap $12 tripod from Amazon. and I'm just going to take pictures around my neighborhood. And that is when I truly became able to manage my time and make it like more of that in the moment, authentic representation of who I am. Yeah.
So that's what I was going to say. Should we go to staying true to yourself or time management? Because I feel like, you know, it's interesting though how those two do mesh.
Yes. Yes. And like, even for staying true to yourself, I think that is the key to time management, because if you're trying to present something on your social media feed that is not who you are, or doesn't naturally play into your lifestyle, it is going to take so much time. Okay. So like, if you're like, oh, I'm a luxury blogger and only like to take pictures with imported sports cars in the background. I'm making this up. But like, you're not going to be able to do that every day. And in your stories, you know, are you just gonna post pictures of you in front of this very specific background? So it's like you have to make your content fit with your lifestyle and your interests. Because if not, it's always going to be a struggle. There's going to be a barrier there for you to deliver, and that just eats all of your time.
Sure. So let's talk a little bit about that. So definitely just staying true to yourself. Also, I think we talked a little bit about like not being perfect. Like you had said, like, you know, you don't always have to have like the perfect background or the perfect lighting. Like sometimes you can just get it out there and people are going to appreciate it for that content for what it is. And it doesn't have to have all of the editing and everything like that. So
I have a great example of this. So a brand sent me a pasta meal kit. And they're like this amazing local brand, and it's like this little everything is just in a little bag, and then you create it. And I was like, my kitchen is so ugly, because it is, and it is so gross because it is, you know. And I was like building it up in my head, like I'm never going to be able to post about this. And like, when I'm cooking, like I am not a natural cook. I'm not great in the kitchen. I'm sweaty. I'm gross. Like I'm usually not happy. I'm only happy when I'm eating it. I'm not happy at any other point of this process. But they sent me this meal kit and I just loved it. Like the owner, I had a connection with them. And I just was like, okay, I'm just going to do this. And so on my feed, you can see this picture of me looking like no makeup, haven't brushed my hair, and then just like a house dress. I'm sure you have a house. Like,
sure. Yes.
I'm originally from Alabama. We have house dresses, you know, just very loose, you know. And I mean, and I'm holding this plate of pasta that I just made. And that was like a very real, authentic moment to me. And in my stories, I cleaned off my stove just the part that was going to be in the
yeah. Like, okay, let's scrub that part.
Let's get the grease off of here. Okay. But like, it was a very, I had to get over myself in that moment, and I had to stop focusing on what I think other people expected out of me, or what they think my house should look like, or if they were going to judge me for my gross pans that weren't like perfectly clean, because I can never get them clean. But you know, you kind of have to get over yourself and just do it, you know, and trust that your authenticity is going to resonate, and it doesn't have to be some super stylized version of your life, you know?
Right. Well, I do still think, and this kind of goes back to staying true to yourself too. It takes a bold, brave person though, to be like, okay, this is me and I'm going to put it out there and I'm not going to care what people say. Was that something you had to kind of get over, or was it natural for you? Or, you know, what advice do you have for people who kind of have that?
It was not natural for me. It was tough. I mean, I am an extrovert, but I'm also pretty private person. So it was hard. Like, and I have these like expectations of my life. Like, I am literally like the messiest person in the world. I'm not dirty, but I am messy. And and so I would never post pictures in my house, or it was something I definitely had to work on with posting just stories and showing like just, okay, I know that I have a pile of laundry behind me, or, you know, or shoes or underwear laying on the ground. But you know what? This is who I am. There is a lot of freedom that comes into accepting those parts of yourself, and knowing that you're going to put it out there. And you know what? Like, the people who have a problem with that, then they are not the people you're gonna, first of all, they're probably not gonna leave you nice comments, you know. And if they do, like, or if they leave you mean comments, then you don't want them in your life. You don't want that kind of follower. So, but it's one thing to say that, and a much different thing to not be hurt by the comments or the things that people say, you know. So you do have to have a thick skin, you know, a lot.
But didn't you say for the most part, out of a lot of your followers, you don't really get many comments like that?
So I don't. And that is because, first of all, I have, I think it's like 86% of my followers are women, you know. So I don't get like the creepy male. I get some of that, and I get a lot of weird DMs, you know, and you're just like, I mean, I always look when the image is blurred. I always tap. And I'm like, well, what are they sending me? I need to know. Like
I gotta find out.
Yeah, I just gotta know. I'm never gonna accept this, but like, yeah, I always look.
I love that.
And then delete. But you get, so you are gonna get the creepy comments, but the negative comments I don't get as much as a lot of other people in my niche do. And why do I think that? I think that because I'm usually pretty real in my captions, and kind of, for me, it is always about my outfit, but it's also about the feeling of the photo. So if you look at my feed, I try to post photos that have movement or joy, like a feeling of joy, because to me, that's what I want people to feel when they meet me, you know, or when they see my picture in their feed. I don't want it to be super serious or super sexy, even though I do have like modeling photos that are like super crazy. But like for the most part, I'm posting like happy smiley pictures and colorful clothes and things like that. So I think that maybe doesn't lend itself to a ton of negativity.
Sure.
But
it also sounds like you're genuinely caring about your followers and thinking about the feelings that you want to share with them. So it's not all like, look at me, which is fine too at times, but it sounds like you really genuinely like want to inspire them with joy, which is who can be upset with that.
Well, some people still are, or they'll leave a comment like that neckline is all wrong for you, or like, and I mean, I've watched reality television before, like, oh my gosh, why is she wearing that? So I get that. I don't think I would ever post that to any, I would never put that out. But a lot of people do, and so you do kind of have to have a thick skin, and you have to figure out how you're going to deal with the negativity if you do attract it. So
right, yeah. But again, I mean, just getting over thinking about how much joy you've brought people through, not only your photos and your style and the confidence you have in your style, and also showing them like, hey, these outfits can be out there for the curves. But I do think, like you said in your post, they're like genuinely additional to the outfit. Like, hey, this is that, and I'm feeling like this. And I do love that about your comments too, because it adds another layer to the story to evoke emotion, which you've talked about as far as like creating that emotional connection with your followers too.
It's so important. I mean, there's sometimes where you don't have time to write a huge caption, and again, it goes back to your personality. Are you a writer? Do you misspell everything? So you'd rather not post like a long caption? Do you struggle with your words? Then maybe your captions just need to be like painting about you, in a cute picture.
That's cute.
Right? But for me, my background is writing, so I am very comfortable with writing things out. And the way that I communicate and build my friendships is usually through a lot of talking. So it's, so my captions, there will be information about the outfit that I'm wearing, but it will also be moments of my day, and like what Tim and I are going through, or like what I'm thinking about, or any kind of struggle that I'm having, So I think that's something that a lot of new influencers struggle over. Like, what do I say in my captions? Because you have a beautiful picture. Well, now what do you say? Yeah. Well, take it back to you. Like, what did you do that day? What's on your mind? Why did you put this outfit together? Those types of things. So
sure. Like I posted one the other day of just me walking in the snow in Chicago, and I was like, what do I put? And I did like a snowflake. I was like, that was so dumb.
No. But that's your personality, like you don't have to write a haiku about the beautiful falling snow. Like if you just want to put like a little like snowman burr thing, then that's who you are.
Yeah. Then that's what it'll get. And by the way, real quick, and then we can go to Christy's questions here, but I loved Tim's snowman.
Oh my God.
Yep. You guys, Amber had on her, so it snowed here like 2 feet in Chicago, and Amber yesterday on her stories had her fiance's snowman. Now, this was not your typical snowman.
Oh my gosh, it was so funny. Well, and that came about from a very real moment. Like I was pretty sad that we couldn't go house hunting because we couldn't get the car out of the snow. And so I was just like sitting inside, like all depressed. And then Tim like goes outside on the porch, and I'm like, ugh, what's he doing? I'm going to watch Outlander. and so I see him, and I'm like, what is he doing? And he had just started building this kind of sinister, like weird looking snowman sitting in a chair out on our porch, and it looked like something like a Homer Simpson sitting. You know, he put a trucker hat on it, and it was hilarious. And I was like, oh my gosh, that totally cheered me up. And I posted it to my stories, and I got more engagement on those things than you know, like it doesn't have to be anything. Like, people are looking for a reason to connect, you know, especially now that we have so many challenges with the pandemic and everything. So it doesn't you don't have to overthink it too much.
Yeah, for sure. That was just so cute and clever. So now I know Christy has a few questions that I totally want to get to, but as far as time management, will you tell us a little bit about the apps that you use to decrease a lot of the time, or rather streamline, right? The time that you put in. I did this poll, and a lot of you guys said 1 to 4 hours per week, 4 to 8 hours per week. I wasn't sure like how much. Honestly, I spend so much time on Instagram, like the iPhone tracker. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I wasn't sure how much time to put. But as far as us chatting, I know you had said that helped you with streamlining your time management. And forgive me, I want you to chat and I'll be right back. I talk about, like, you know, technical difficulties. I got to go get my charger. So,
oh no. Okay.
Yeah, it'll take me 2 seconds. So yeah, if you could just kind of talk a little bit about those apps, I'll be back.
Okay, so the most helpful apps that I have found for really saving me time are Later. Later is my favorite app. It's an app and it has a desktop version. So Christy, this kind of goes into one of the questions that you asked. Do I compose my text and content on my phone or my laptop? I am a true back and forth. So that is why Later is my favorite one, because they have an amazing desktop version and a phone app, and it's like instantaneous. So a ton of the pictures, of course, I told you I take all my pictures on my phone now, just with an iPod or tripod. So I take all my pictures on my phone. Well, but I prefer to write on my computer. So I just open the app and I drag my pictures in, and then I open them on the desktop version and write my content. And then you schedule it, and then when it's time, you post it through the phone. So I'm literally using both devices simultaneously. But Later is free. There's a paid version, which I use because I have a lot of accounts that I manage, but you get like 30 posts a month for free, which is like one post a day. So it's perfect. But Later is amazing. And then there's the iPhone app. What was it? I think it's called Camera 365. And it's the best app for when you're doing a timer to take your photo.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, because I like to hear a countdown, you know?
Yeah.
And they have like a sound version, so you can set it like to take 30 pictures in 3-second increments. Like you can like play around with what you want, and then it actually counts down. So you can hear the camera.
Well, yeah, sure. If you're far away, you can't see that countdown sometimes.
No, you can't see it. Well, and especially if you're using the back camera, which is the better camera, you know. So it's like you really can't see anything. So yeah. But those are my two favorite, Later.com and then the app version, and then Camera 365, I think it's called. But
okay. And so you mentioned do you compose your text? Yeah. How long does it take you to produce a post? Did you touch on? Yeah.
Okay. So this is where one of my biggest goals was to cut down on the time it takes me to write a caption, because I am a writer and I go back and I like re-edit and I will take forever writing a post. So one of the most effective time management strategies that I started doing was setting a timer.
Okay.
And yeah, so I try to write the caption for my post in 10 minutes or less. Some people, like if you're only posting a snowflake emoji, you can get it done real fast. But mine are kind of longer. So as far as how much time it takes me, it used to be hours and hours to take the photo, edit the photo, write the caption for the photo, go track down the affiliate links for the photo, you know. So it definitely takes me start to finish about 1 to 2 hours per post for sure. Like probably even more than that. But like trying to keep my writing down to 10 minutes. The editing, I really simplified my editing. Like I used to, like if there was a piece of trash on the ground, I would go into like I would try to get rid of the trash, or like if my bangs were doing something, because bangs are always an issue in photos,
especially in the Windy City, I'm sure.
Oh, they're all over the place. Oh my gosh. And so it was really like I couldn't spend that much time editing my photos, you know. So all I do is I usually do some lighting adjustments, or I'll use the Teza app, and she has some nice free filters just to like bring up some tones in the skin and stuff like that. Well, it's to the overall picture. But the best time management or a tip is just don't over edit your photos. So
yeah.
And it also fits into the authenticity side of things too. So
right. Like, didn't you say before you wanted to always have all these backgrounds, and now you're like, okay, I have my outfit, I can just walk out onto the street.
And that's it. And the focus is on the outfit. And like literally every post I have posted in the last 6 months has been at one of the corners around my house. And like, and it's funny because you really don't need that much in the background of your photos. So like you can always find like new little ways to shoot that makes it look like it's a different place, you know? So
sure.
And I mean, not having, because I used to go out with a huge bag full of like 6 outfits and would go hunt down all of these like pretty backdrops. And it's like, no, I'm keeping all of that stuff in my house so I can change where it's warm and just go out with my tripod with just that outfit on and take the photos. So
nice. Yeah. Okay. And then also, growing followers, if someone follows you, do you feel responsible to follow them back?
I used to a lot, especially when you're trying to grow your following. And that's honestly how I got like nearly 4,000 people that I'm following. Oh. I mean, a ton of those are brands, and you want to follow all the brands that you want to work with, you know, and you want to engage with their posts and stuff like that, because these are humans managing these accounts. And
we forget that.
Yes. So if you are like, and a lot of big brands don't get a ton of comments on their, you know, because people think they don't have like a personal connection, so they're not going to leave a comment. So if you comment, the human running that account already is like attuned to your name, your profile, like, oh, I recognize that. So then when you do decide to send them a DM and reach out to them for product or just to sponsor you for something, then it's human nature. You're going to go with people that you're familiar with or that you've developed some sort of affinity to.
Sure.
So, yeah. Oh, but like to follow people back, I would say only follow people that are in your niche and that you are genuinely interested in their content, because having a feed full of like people's kids. Not like kids are cute.
Right.
I have a pet peeve. My pet peeve is people who post pictures of their kids with food on their faces. I don't think it's cute. I don't think it's charming. I think it's gross. And yet people post pictures like literally all the time. So I'm just like, oh God, get away, you know. And of course the kid is cute, but not with like blueberry
food on their face.
Like, no, thank you. So
that's pretty funny. Well, especially if you don't even know the child.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
oh my goodness. Good point. All right. So do you have to have a blog and an Insta account, or can you be a career influencer with just an Instagram account? And now this is an interesting question because we did speak about that with your blog and your articles. All right. So show us or let us know some insight on that.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it is absolutely possible to just be an Instagram influencer. I would not recommend that, but it is totally possible. And so many people have done that. But why I wouldn't recommend that being your only outlet is because you don't own Instagram. Somebody can hack your account, which has happened to so many influencers. They can get control of your account, do something crazy. They can change your password and you will never get access to your account again. So all of that content, all of those words, all of that will be gone in the blink of an eye. So it is very responsible, in my opinion, to have a website and to post. And this is where it gets hard. This is a time management thing because I have before in the dark ages, it was only website. You had your website. That's where you posted all your pictures and you wrote like a long form blog. And then Instagram came along and then people don't want to leave Instagram because you just want to see and look at the caption and then scroll. So it became very easy just to post to Instagram. And I fell into that trap. Because it just takes more time. It takes more time to post it in multiple places. But I would recommend having an asset that you own as a home for your content. So one thing that I have seen and have yet to implement in my own blogging experience is, one thing that I want to start doing is all of the posts that I post on Instagram, I want to do one roundup blog post once a week where I talk about each thing and then do the link. And so it's more of like, so I'm not having to post every day to Instagram and to my blog and to Pinterest. It just gets to be like a lot. But I do like, once you get in the influencer world, you realize that hacking really is a major concern. Like things do happen and you don't own Instagram. And so anything can happen. So I would try to house your content in a different spot.
That is such a good point that I wouldn't have even thought of. So that's really interesting. Okay, so how long did it take you to get to a point where you were making money off of this, switching from a hobby to a career?
My experience was a little different because I was really one of the first bloggers, you know, like I started like when blogging started. So it was a long time. And brands did not want to pay you at all. They didn't even understand. They were still like paying for billboards, you know, and like, they weren't like, they didn't understand the power of social media at the time or even blogging. So I would say, I would actually say you're probably not going to start making money until you're at least over 10,000 followers, and not even, I would say now it's like 20,000. because the brand, I mean, brands will put you in a tier, you know, of like, you're like a super micro influencer under 20,000. So they might not pay you. You'll just have to get product. And that is absolutely okay until you build your following. That is part of the process, because what you're hoping for is if somebody can give you product, you want to take a really cool picture, tag them in it, and hope for a repost. Because that is when you're going to grow, is when more eyeballs get on your content. And then people will decide, oh, hey, I like what this girl has going on. I'm going to follow her or follow him. And so that's kind of like, if you approach it from a business mindset, that is growth stage, and your growth strategy is to go for reposts, go for collaborating with other bloggers. That's a huge way to grow, is to collaborate with other people in your niche or similar to you. And you can find things in common with anybody. I mean, it can be like, oh, hey, we're all petite bloggers under 5'5". So let's collaborate on something. And it's like, because if you're short, you're going to want to be inspired by people who are a similar body type or a similar height. So you can find those things to identify with other bloggers. And then when you all the collaboration, whatever it is, then you are accessing their followers, and hopefully someone would trade over to you. So yeah.
So that would be the best way for followers. The brand repost as you're growing, the collaboration. Do hashtags help?
They do, but not as much as they used to. It used to be a huge way to grow. But now it's just saturated. So you have to be specific with the hashtags you use. So you don't want to use, I mean, some of them, like if you do wearing an all pink outfit and you post hashtag pink, it's not going to do anything. I think that has like 3 million posts, you know. But if you hashtag, I have this thing with pink, you know, which is, that has like 1 million posts, so it's not as many. But maybe it's like, if you're wearing a pink blazer, then you might hashtag pink blazer, and that might have 20,000 posts. So your picture is more likely to be seen by people who might want to follow you in ones that don't have as high of the number of people who are posting. Does that make sense?
Yes. And that makes a lot of sense, and something I would not have thought of, because I would think, oh, I want to do a hashtag that has all of these, you know, the most viewers, 4 million, 5 billion. And so that's interesting, though. Try to be more specific with the hashtags.
And then there is a strategy that I have researched called laddering. Okay, because what you want to do is get in the top posts. You know, when you search a hashtag, there's like the top posts under that hashtag. And it's like the top 9 or something, or 12 or something. And then everyone who goes through that hashtag would see your posts. But when 2 million people are posting to that a day, you're never going to make the top. Like, very rare that you're going to make a top. So if you try for a mix of hashtags, so you want some niche specific hashtags. So for me, I usually don't do OOTD because that's outfit of the day. But I do PS OOTD, which is plus size outfit of the day.
Oh, okay.
So I use some niche specific hashtags, then some bigger hashtags, and then I'll throw in a few of the like million ones, you know, but those really aren't going to do you any good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Okay. So I put it out there. If you guys have any other questions, let us know. I think, was there anything else you wanted to kind of mention or touch on as far as time management or staying true to yourself? I think we kind of meshed the two together, but it was very relevant.
Well, and they go hand in hand so much, because the thing about being an influencer is it is your life that you are putting into a public space. So you can't fake your life, or if you are, it's going to be really hard to produce the amount of content that you need to produce and to find the followers who are actually engaging with you. So because I mean, if you approach this like a business, you need to, like, the ways that you make money, brand sponsorships, affiliate links. So if nobody is buying from the things that you're linking to, then you're not making money and you are not being as successful as you could be. So the time management, it has to go with your lifestyle. It has to be authentic. It will save you time. It will get you those followers, and then it will get you the money.
Sure. And like you said, it will create genuine followers that are really interested in you and have that emotional connection, which then brands are more interested in that rather than just the number of followers. So all of that makes complete sense and really ties into, not only enjoying your time as an Instagram influencer too, but making money and having a really supportive community. So what a cool career for you to have. One last thing, and then Christy, we're going to go to your question here, because you've asked so many great ones. So thank you so much for being such a great active participant. I think that something we spoke about that other people can relate to, that we've already kind of touched on, but I want to mention real quick, is the question of, am I interesting enough?
Oh gosh. So imposter syndrome is very real in the Instagram world as well. So one thing that I felt really held me back for a long time was this idea of, I'm not interesting. The only thing interesting about me, in this world is maybe the outfit I'm wearing. So it was really hard for me to get to acknowledge or accept that nobody's really that interesting. And I don't know why. I would think I have nothing to post about today. I am not doing anything. I didn't shower. I'm sitting here looking ratchet, and then you have to realize that, first of all, nobody else is doing anything that amazing either. And second of all, it's, you don't let that pressure to be super interesting and super amazing and blah, 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 to stop you from actually making those genuine connections, because other people are just sitting at home watching Outlander 2 or watching The Bachelor or whatever, or tried to go house hunting and then the snow messed it up, and then your boyfriend built himself creepy snowman. And that's just a glimpse into your life. Yeah, it's not, I'm flying to Turks and Caicos or whatever. I don't even know how to say that, but nobody's doing that now.
Right.
But yeah, so to get over that was a big hurdle I had to accept, and just because it's more important to show up and be consistent and build those relationships than just holding back and waiting until everything is perfect and until you have something you think is interesting enough to share.
Sure. So, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Christy asked our question, how do you see the future of Instagram and social media affecting your life and business? So yeah, as far as looking forward, what are you seeing there?
Looking forward, I think now it has become a lot more competitive because so many influencers have gotten into the space, and treating it like a career. So it's going to be a lot harder to be successful at this if you treat it like a hobby. And that was something like I have different, like I'm a model. I'm a marketing professional, so I do marketing for small businesses. And then I have this influencing part of my life. And it was a hobby for a long time because nobody would pay you any money. So as far as where it's going, I think more people are going to come into this serious and with money on the mind. And I've noticed that already. Like influencers are coming into this space and they're already getting paid at 17,000 followers. And me at almost 50,000, I'm still having trouble getting paid. So, because brands, I'm still considered a micro influencer. You're considered a micro influencer until you get 100,000 followers. So, so I see that trend continue. I think the bar is going to continue to get higher for followers. And I think that it will start taking more time. But you have to focus on it like a business. So I don't know if I really answered the future of Instagram and social media. Yeah, like it is going to, I don't think it's going to go away. I think it's too profitable. It's like way more effective than taking ads out in magazines ever was.
Yeah.
And you know how much money brands would pay to do a full page ad in a magazine. It was astronomical. And then really, they never really even knew what the outcomes of were.
Right. Or how to like track it back to that.
Exactly. Well. Like what was effective. And so now they know who's clicking on what, where that traffic is coming from. So for me, I am focusing on building authentic relationships with followers. I really am trying to get first to the 50,000 mark, which I think I only have 2,000 more to go to get there. So 50,000 and then 100 will be my next goal. And yeah, I definitely want to break out a little bit of my niche. So right now I'm so focused on plus size fashion, but I'd like to start doing more beauty or more lifestyle supportive posts to kind of expand the number of brands I have potential relationships with. So that's kind of what's on my mind for next steps. So.
Well, that's so great. Well, great. All right, guys, any other questions at all? Let us know. We'll give it a minute here. And then, so also Amber, you are on Instagram at StylePlusCurves.
Yes. StylePlusCurves on Instagram and everywhere. My blog is StylePlusCurves.com. I'm on Pinterest as StylePlusCurves. I'm on Poshmark as StylePlusCurves. Because I have to sell some of these clothes, I need more room. So,
well, if you're getting stuff from brands, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot. So.
Well, good. Okay. Well, Christy, my Instagram, you can follow us at For Creators on Instagram. Go to forcreators.com, sign up. All of you are here, so you probably have, but if you're going to watch this later on. So, we're going to have this as a recorded webinar so you can share it with everybody. Be sure to come back with us every Monday for Mondays for Creators for more great, awesome insight. And Christy wanted to know real quick, and then we got to wrap up, how much do you use Pinterest? Do you use that often?
Pinterest is a huge driver of traffic back to your website. So I would say if you have a website, then you need to be using Pinterest a lot. They have relaxed the restrictions on there, so you can post with an affiliate link, so that you can capture some more eyes on like affiliate income if people click through and make a purchase. Well, I should be using it more than I do, but again, that is a time management thing. Because
I mean,
on all different. There's
so many different platforms. I mean, you go crazy.
Yeah. But with the later.com, if you have the paid version, you can schedule Pinterest posts to post automatically, and that is such a huge time saver. And you can do it in their website too. You can schedule them to post automatically too. So without doing a third party things. Yeah, Pinterest is very important, but you can only do what you can in the time and the life that you live, and you have to be okay with, I'm not going to be everywhere. I'm not going to be able to do everything, and I won't appeal to everyone. The key is to appeal to the people who have something in common with you that you can genuinely form a relationship with.
No, that's such great advice too. So, well, thank you so much, Amber. I cannot tell you what a wealth of information you are, and just to sit here and answer all of our questions and share all your insight and knowledge and experience is just so amazing. So,
well, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, for sure. So go check out and follow her, help her get to 50,000 and then 100,000. And guys, so every Monday, as I mentioned, every Monday for creators, we'll be doing a live webinar. Everybody come back and check it out. Next week, we're going to be speaking with Yemi AD about his work and usage of Clubhouse, which is a brand new app. Have you heard of that, Amber? Yeah. So
another thing.
Yeah, it's really another thing, right? But yeah, it's a pretty cool platform, and one that you can get really great connections and chat with a bunch of people from all over the world, just like for creators. So we're going to be speaking with him. So be sure to keep an eye out for our posts on forcreators.com and our Instagram about what time that is, because it might be a little different next week. So everybody come back and join us soon. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, Amber.
Thank you.
All right. Take care, everybody. Thank you.